I'm going to share with you my journey. When I arrived as a student, the campus was well established, and there were lots of traditions. And it was through traditions that I learned many of the good things that helped me become a better person. Learning to be unselfish, to be thinking about others, just became a part of what we were doing.
Willie grew up on a farm outside of Maryland. We both came to the upper school in September 1951.
Coming to Prin and it had an impact on my life in ways that I didn't even recognize or was aware of at the time.
In 1961, he started working at Principia as a middle school house pop and soon became Dean of Boys.
Mr. Simon served in multiple capacities for over 50 years.
Bill was a football coach and a soccer coach and a track coach and a cross-country coach. Just a master at coaching, really.
He was one of the most successful coaches in the state of Missouri.
You're looking at a guy who never played any football, he was too small. You're looking at a guy that cut from the track team. And here I am, I'm known as a coach. Wonders never cease, I'll tell you.
Bill's approach to coaching started with his approach to just about everything. He was interested in helping people be better and to be the best that they could be. Athletics was one of the ways where he could do that.
I'm not a big fan of goal setting because sometimes it's limiting. You set the goal and then you get it and then you think, okay, now what do I do? I am a big fan of doing the very best that you can do all the time.
I always felt most inspired by Mr. Simon's stories. He would pull our entire track team together in the little wrestling room of the old gym, and he would tell these stories that had a deep spiritual purpose.
One of my favorite stories that he would tell was the lesson of the Bumblebee.
He would talk about how bumblebees aren't meant to fly. They're way too large, their wings are teeny, but somehow they fly. And he was always saying that we have a lot of bumblebees here and we're proud of it.
Regardless of our starting point, he met us there and helped all of us to do and be better than we ever thought we could.
Mr. Simon was not only the track and cross-country coach, but he was also Principia's Dean of Students, and he was earnest about being the Dean of all students. Whether you ran or not, Mr. Simon loved you.
He saw ability and potential in everyone. He knew that everyone was capable of developing godlike qualities, that those were inherent in each of us.
He loved Principia, he loved Christian Science, and he loved those kids, and they all felt that.
To be in Mr. Simon's presence was to be in the presence of love. A love that witnesses to another's goodness and potential in the midst of their struggles, and a love that is full of wisdom and kindness.
He helped move all of us by winning us to the right, helping to move our thought from our own limited concepts to broader, bigger, and most of all, more unselfish concepts.
Somebody asked me one time why I stayed at Prin for so many years when I came to work. And the one reason is that by being at Prin, I was able, without a lot of difficulty, to be the kind of person that I really wanted to be a good person, if you will.
Mr. Simon helped us to see, while in the moment, that our daily choices did matter, that choosing good was its own reward.
It is the valuing of good, the acceptance of good, the nurturing of good that makes all of us do what is right and do it well.
Mr. Simon never seemed to care about who saw him doing what was right. He did what was right because that's who he was. And he made me want to do the same thing too.
On this campus, I'm not sure that there's anyone that has impacted more lives more substantially than Bill Simon.
There are those of us who today understand more about who we are and the fact that we're loved because we knew him.
Bill's probably the most significant leader in Principia's history after Mrs. Morgan, because he showed the way for us all. He modeled what it meant to be a Principian year after year, decade after decade. He manifested the ideals of a true Principian and modeled them better than most of us ever could.
The things that we do should express good. Is it worth being good? You bet it is. Always. Never, ever is it not worth being good. And you know what? Good's where it's at.
Truly, he reaped what he sowed, and he took great pride in sowing goodness in everything that he did.
Principian is not a spectator sport. It's one that you have to be involved in. And you all haven't stopped sowing. I haven't stopped sowing. And we haven't stopped reaping. We must continue that process. We must continue moving forward.